What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Showdown Breakdown Monday Night Football. Saints traveling to Kansas City. Case Sizzles taking on the Chiefs. Showdown for all the monies, guys. We got DFS Up North, Bobby Millions, and myself, the Geek, to break it all down for you guys. What's going on, fellas?
It's good to be back. I feel like I haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks.
You've been missed.
I've been missed.
Priorities. Get your priorities straight.
You guys do it in the afternoons, but no, I'm excited. This should be a good game tonight.
You know Taysom, right? That's probably the best part.
I don't know if you read my notes, but I said that I'm so thankful that I don't have to figure out what to do with Taysom tonight.
Amen.
You guys hate Tay-Tay. Shameful.
I don't hate him. I just hate having to figure out what he does.
No Taysom is a massive plus to Alvin Kamara. A minimal plus to Derek Carr as well. So everybody on the Saints gets a little bump there, guys. But before we got to do some acknowledgments. Okay, this was a crazy weekend. You know how I'm always saying, and I've been saying for the last few weeks, that the best contest in DFS that's ever been done is the $3 contest that FanDuel is giving away free money on.
Yep.
Well, DFS Freak, listen, he's one of our regulars. He's a DFS Army and Sharp guy. Used the domination station to attack the $3 contest on FanDuel, turned it into 70,000. Can you guys see this on screen? $70,000.
You got to zoom in.
Hold on. In case you missed it.
More. There we go.
Winner, DFS Freak. Congratulations, my man. He's somebody who's regularly like in my DMs and whatnot. So couldn't be happier for you, DFS Freak. I want to show you guys what actually happened in that contest. I'm not sure you can see it, but this was this was crazy because this one asshole, and I will call him an asshole, right? I am calling Grizz H24 an asshole. Puts like 30 lineups in the same fucking lineup in this and all of the contest on FanDuel. Yep. It's all over the place. And it's in first. And if you're DFS Freak and this clown passes you with his chain of like 20 entries, okay? If he gets past you, now you go from first place to like 20th place.
Yep.
Difference of 70K down to like $150. So, wow, that was a nerve wracker for DFS Freak. We had another DFS Army man because, again, this is like the best contest to enter. Everybody's been in it. We had another DFS Army guy here in 21st place. He could have had a top 10 if it wasn't for that other jerk as well. And one thing I wanted to show you just of my own lineups, and I don't know if you could see this, but I didn't even have a great, and Bobbywow, you'll appreciate this. I didn't even have a good run in this one. My best lineup is 150th place. Not like one of my best days. In an unheard of twist, because this, I keep telling you, this is a free money content. No one listens. Okay, keep not listening to me. But you can't see it now, but even without a great lineup, with nothing special, I turned a profit. I will tell you this exact. I do the flea on DraftKings all the time.
Yep.
If I don't finish one in the top 10, I lost 30%. Lock button. Lock.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah, and I made money. This is like free lottery tickets if you just don't suck at DFS. So if you're in DFS Army, you're not attacking.
Even if you do suck, it's like free lottery tickets.
It's kind of free. They're adding so much money into it. It's hard to lose money. 517. It's 450 to max it. I got 517 back, so I turned a profit with a mediocre run. And I went crazy on Jordan Love and his pass catchers. So that's what held me back. I had a lot of great calls, but that held me back. I just had a very heavy split. Don't care. Didn't lose money.
Yep.
So I'm not going to say it again. The contest is out again this week. Anybody doesn't want to get in there, do your thing. Want to acknowledge
25-cent one too.
Yeah, they got the quarter one as well. So there's no excuse. Want to acknowledge Miranda, who listened to my, I don't know if he listened to my approach or he just does this.
I mean, he's pretty successful on his own.
Listen, Miranda's like my spirit animal, right? He's my hero. But I want to acknowledge my man. This is not even in the GPP. He won this money primarily in the multiplier, in the super booster multiplier, which is a great contest that pays the top 2.5% finishers. It's a great contest to be profitable. Miranda's probably the person that I've met that is the best at understanding how to play profitable DFS. I would say about anybody I've ever come across. So props out there to Miranda for this 70K off of 2,000, and also just smart entries consistently. So We also had
he's good at Showdown on like he's gonna make a stand and that's what it's gonna be, right? Like, and that's okay. If he loses it all, whatever, but 5-6 times a year he comes back with 70K.
And Kenny Walker poisoned my lineups too. Tony Turner, I'm with you. That was a big problem for me, but I also wanted to acknowledge Reedy 174. Now this number doesn't look like that great, 1,400, but he took down in a big tie for the showdown on Sunday Night Football. So we want to put more winners in the Monday Night Football showdown. I feel like I said, it's what I've been saying since the beginning. You always see DFS Army helmets at the top of these contests. It is consistent. We had a guy win the, I think, did I not put the screenshot in here? Well, also props to Razzle, who I forgot to pull his screenshot for taking down the afternoon only contest this week as well. So Razzle stepping away from MLB, doing a little NFL and taking down another tournament. Let's win another one tonight. I want to see those helmets at the top, guys.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Got all that out of the way. One reminder. Our VIP 50% off thing ends tonight. So this is the last chance if you want to join DFS Army and get your first month of VIP for 50% off, code VIP50. That literally ends at midnight or whenever our system thinks it's midnight tonight. It might be at 8 p.m. for all I know. I don't know what time it's working on. But it ends tonight, and there's literally at the end of this week. So there's one more day to get DFS Army VIP for half off. Promo code VIP50 for monthly VIP. It is a 1-month thing, but you'll get NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB simultaneous. So if you ever wanted to check out DFS Army and what we do, this will give you the full taste behind the paywall.
Yeah, not to mention the Discord, which is the best part. Not to mention the Discord, which is one of the best parts.
The Discord. I mean, Bobbywow and DFSUpNorth are in there, and Burns. Burns has got a channel in Discord, the Shark Lab channel. It's exploding. Did you see it?
Yeah,
he's a big deal.
We gave Burns a channel, and it went nuts. I love it. Everybody's into the math behind how to win tournaments, and that's what we need. By the way, was it you, Bobbywow, who said Giants defense, or was that Burns?
Ooh. That was the one I had. Yeah, Giants. Burns had a ton of good calls. I had Giants.
That was the nuts call of the weekend. That was crazy.
That was big time.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. All right. Kansas City. Who's the pass catcher? I don't know. They're all hurt, right? Rashee Rice goes down. So I think this is going to be really important. Who's the running back? I'm not sure. Right? Let's get into it. So DFSUpNorth.
Yes, sir.
You did the breakdown for tonight's slate. What did you find? Is it Kareem Hunt now as the prime running back? Is that what we have?
Essentially, that's what it seems like. It's going to be Kareem Hunt. He was the one who got the most work last week. Carson Steele has fumbled in his last 2 games. And I'm surprised, given Andy Reid's history, that he's still on the team or alive. But so it's P. Ryan's still the third guy. He's going to play some third down. He's going to block. But I wrote in the notes, it's kind of crazy to think that Kareem Hunt was on his couch 2 weeks ago, and now he is the starting running back for the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's bananas. And I think it looks like, according to last week, they just about split actual snaps, 45% and 40% Hunt to Pirine, but Pirine got far and away the most rushing work and passing work. So it seems like Hunt is in, Pirine's almost in there as a blocker / knows the offense, and Hunt is in there playing the Isaiah Pacheco role, which is a very good role.
Getting the touches, offense. Right? Getting the touches.
Yeah, that's a great role in this offense.
For sure.
Just tight ends, you always have the 2 here, Kelsey and Noah Gray. Noah Gray involved, like he's out there getting targets.
He's a great turd this game, I think. Like, or not even really a turd, but he's just cheap enough to be considered like that. But yeah, Kelsey, the connection I feel like is starting to come back a little bit, and it couldn't happen at a better time because they need somebody to catch the ball. And I wrote in the notes, I think we'll see a lot more 2 tight end stuff with Gray and Kelsey tonight, just because of their issues at receiver.
Yeah, they don't have many receivers who can catch the ball.
It's a little sketchy. Juju's there. He's playing a decent amount, running out of the slot in that Rashee Rice role. And he's cheap on both sites, but he's still Juju.
It's gross. I think the guy who benefits the most from the injury to Rashee Rice is going to be Travis Kelce. I think we're going to see vintage Travis Kelce kind of going forward because they need it. We'll see, vintage meaning the 2023 vintage.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's tricky. Like, you got Juju, you got Sky Moore, who's done nothing. You've got Justin Watson, who's been given opportunities in the past and recently, and he's still only coming down with 2 or 3 catches a game. So yeah, I think it's Kelsey, Gray, or bust this week for the most part.
Yeah, and Xavier Worthy's got the big play potential. To me, Xavier Worthy is the guy that has the most potential to upstart, to step up his role, to be something special. We haven't seen it yet. Week 1, he got 2 catches, couple touchdowns. So it looked like a big score, but really wasn't heavily targeted. He hasn't been heavily targeted at all. Will that turn around this week? Maybe.
Like, any turds on this, he doesn't need it. He doesn't need a ton to get it. He doesn't need a ton to get it done, just with his speed. You know what I mean? But no, I mean, Juju's really cheap on both sites. Other than that, Noah Gray. I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet, but I kind of like both kickers in this game quite a bit.
Interesting. Well, we'll get to the kickers, but let's just kind of get some of the specifics out of the way for these teams. So let's jump over to the Saints.
Now we got a lot of turds.
Oh, so many turds. They're really, I mean, would we call them turds? They're kind of turds, starter turds on the Chiefs, but on the Saints, you got a lot of names, right?
Yeah, like, it's tricky, right? Like, it's you got your standard Alvin Kamara, obviously going to be a great play. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, but then like Cedric Wilson's 3rd wide receiver, and he's almost dead min price. He doesn't get it. They don't pass him the ball, but like, these sort of guys that are getting a decent amount of playing time are pretty turdly.
Think of Wilson and Mason Tipton, I would say, as what Kadero Hodge did the other day. Like,
sure.
Didn't even think to play any Kadero Hodge, but it only took 1 reception, a miracle reception on like the second to last play to thrust that. By the way, Bobbywow, I had the nuts lineup, but with your $200 guy.
Ooh. Oh man. I know. Yeah, he got hurt. He got hurt like the first or second play of the game.
Yeah, that's brutal. But like, I was like, oh man, if only this 200, like, the nuts was so there. If only this $200 guy, and then somebody else was like, you should have rolled all the $200 turds through that lineup. I was like, what am I sitting here clicking on Darryl Hodge? Like, I didn't think he was going to get in the game, but I mean, there it was. So let me just go back to the Saints here as we had a little update on screen, but. Juwan Johnson and Foster Moreau, DFS Up North. What's going on here? I used to think it was Juwan.
They've been splitting like almost essentially every game, similar snap counts, similar routes run. I thought, that was my thought coming into is like, oh, this is a Juwan Johnson. He's so cheap. And then when I dug into it, I'm like, they're kind of the same. I would imagine now with Taysom Hill being out that somebody's going to play a little bit more. But Foster Moreau got a touchdown this year.
It's gross. But let's take a look at the seasonal and weekly target share. And this really does tell the tale. Yep. Olave and Shaheed each sitting at 30%. So both are getting stud WR1 dominating wide receiver level targets. 2 guys on the same team. And that's really what it comes down to. The other targets tend to go to Kamara. And by the time you've added 25, 30 and 27, there's only 20% of targets to distribute to the rest of these guys. There's just not that much left to go around. A couple targets for Juwan, Jamal, and a turd wide receiver, and that's about it. So maybe there aren't too many turds here.
There's a lot. It's tricky, right? Because like, if somebody does catch that touchdown pass, they're probably going to be in the nuts.
Yeah, it feels like the Saints are that team too, where like there's always a turd. Like the Traquan, the chef, came from the Saints. Always feels like they are the ones that end up, having that turd that ends up in the optimal lineup. So like, Cedric Wilson is interesting to me. I don't know why. He's kind of he's listed as the 3rd wide receiver on the depth chart. He didn't have as many snaps last week, but I think he is the guy. And for him being min price, I mean, that's pretty crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's I think that was the pass, Bobbywow. I think that was before they felt like Olave and Shaheed were WR1. Like, you remember those years of those turds? They didn't really have WR1s on the team at all. Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas was hurt. Like,
yeah, it was that. It was like, who's the actual guy? So I think that's maybe changed. It's also a Sean Payton thing. So like a lot has changed about the Saints team, but I do think they're actually pretty focused. And so we'll get into the breakdown here, but it does seem like Kamara, Olave, Shaheed. That's your trio of potential nut plays from the Saints side of it.
I think they're going to try to get Jamal Williams involved a little bit more. Kamara's been getting a ton of volume, right? And we know that he is not somebody who can necessarily, I don't think, handle that long term. And I would imagine that at some point we see a little bit more of my boy Jamal Williams. And maybe I'm biased because he is one of like my favorite players in the NFL, but he's unauthentically himself, which I love. But yeah, I think that he sees a little bit maybe uptick here. It's hard to pay it off at his salary, but I think we could maybe see a Jamal Williams tutty tonight after Kamara, maybe he catches 14 passes in a row on the way down the field.
I could see it. If Taysom Hill is there, I'd say no. But without Taysom Hill,
that's what I mean. Like, right? Like there's other options in the red zone now.
One final thing to note is just we've seen it before with this team too, with 2 tight end sets. Juwan Johnson operates more as a wide receiver almost than a tight end. And you saw, last week, his snap count jumped by 20%. I think that's very indicative of what's happening here. Yep. You're not going to see Mason Tipton and Cedric Wilson getting more and more involved. It's going to be Juwan Johnson kind of operating as that hybrid tight end wide receiver. So you just want to call that out. Like that was where the snaps went last week.
Yeah. Let's jump into the ownerships and we'll start talking about some potential captain plays here on DraftKings, of course. Yeah. And let's get a little look here at who people are playing as the top captains. So no real surprises here for me. Kamara, the top dog.
Yep.
Mahomes is surprising because why? But then
yeah,
he hasn't had a good game in a while.
No. He just doesn't have anybody to throw it, and he doesn't bring a running upside. Like I wrote in the notes, like I think he's a very efficient, good NFL quarterback right now, but he's not a great fantasy quarterback.
I mean, he's the best quarterback in the NFL, but for fantasy, it hasn't been that great. It hasn't been that great for a while, and I'm not like super looking to waste 20% of my lineups on that. Although pocket passers have gotten there.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it more this year, but they've been priced down too. Like Mahomes at his price is not that cheap.
No, it doesn't. You're not getting much leverage. Travis Kelce, I get it. Olave and Shaheed, similar.
Yep.
And then Kareem. Do we have to go beyond this? You know who after Kareem, who stands out for me as underpriced? It's not Derek Carr. I fucked that.
Worthy. Right? Yeah, Xavier Worthy. Look at that.
It's Xavier Worthy. This is the play here that is popping for me as, I mean, he's not cheap, but he's not cheap. But he has that upside, guys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he popped for me too right away.
Yep. And then, I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I think these are 2 decent defenses. I think kicker could get there tonight.
Kicker captain? I got to go to your cheat sheet here. Do we see a
kicker? I think kickers could get there.
Wait, Harry Butker, I get it. But Blake Group
can kick.
Dude, Harrison Butker is like fucking elite kicker. You pay. That's Harrison Butker is the guy you take like 2 rounds early in your fantasy draft. Like I don't wait till the last round. You want him on your team.
What's Group's long this year? Hold on, let me see. He's averaging 10 points a game.
I'm hearing that T-Swizz will be in the suite at the stadium tonight.
Oh, so now we got to fade Kelce. Awesome.
She's gonna be separated from Brittany though, because her and Brittany ain't getting along right now. There's some beef in Instagram land. I don't have Instagram.
I heard that Bravo is gonna start a Real Housewives of the Kansas City Chiefs, and that was like not a joke. Like I heard that was a real thing that was gonna happen.
Yeah, good luck to Bravo getting Taylor Swift to agree to be on any bullshit that they put out.
Well, I mean, yeah, with that. But like I'm sure Mahomes and
they're not getting Brittany or Taylor. They're getting like they're getting Harrison Butker's wife and Kareem Hunt's ex-girlfriend. I want to talk about it. All right. I don't know where I'm going with that. Let's talk about real potential captains though. And let's go through this. So Kamara. Yeah.
I mean, he's the knockdown drag out best option here. Right. And the ownership's going to reflect that. I do think there's like you can play the chalk in Kamara if you get different in your lineup, right? So Kamara +1 and then Chiefs onslaught coming back, or Kamara and Saints D, and you know what I mean? Not, stacking up Kamara with Olave and Derek Carr and all those guys that are also going to have some ownership.
Yeah. Now, Derek Carr to me, I guess, but I'm going to not play that.
Not at captain or just at all?
I'm not playing any captain Derek Carr. That's not
me either. I didn't even list him, I don't think. Did I?
Okay. So he is listed there, but I feel like you obligatorily.
I listed him because he had like a 40-point game earlier this year.
Yeah. I mean, listen, he's had a good game, and anything can happen.
It's tricky, right? Like, he had those 2 games to start the year where he popped off for 21, 22. We thought, oh, this Clint Kubiak offense is really going to roll. And then he's had back-to-back duds.
Yeah. I wish Xavier Worthy was a little cheaper. They actually overpriced him.
Yeah. It's hard. Right? He's only going to get 3-4 catches, right? Like, he can do it with that, but it's probably got to get in the end zone.
It's a bummer.
It's good though, because that means people aren't going to pay for him. I think in GPP, that's good leverage.
Yep, that's true.
Like, we agree, he's clearly priced incorrectly. Like, he should not be priced above Travis Kelce.
He's priced like the WR1 on the Chiefs. That's what he's priced like.
Yeah.
So, that's I think that's fair. I love that no one's going to, or not no one, but I love that he'll be relatively lower owned.
What do we think about, I think this slate might come down, especially in like the turd discussion, and we'll get to that in the cheat sheet here, to names like Juju Smith-Schuster and Justin Watson. How are you dealing with those people in terms of exposure percentages, and just like, how am I really supposed to be excited about Juju Smith-Schuster? We know he's washed, but at 2,800 and going to be playing a lot of snaps, is this good?
Yeah, I'm like, yes, I think you have to get him involved, like single entry, things like that. But then it's gonna be like 20% owned, which is wild for me. I prefer Juju on DraftKings to a Justin Watson, but they're both gonna be pretty high owned.
Let's go to the Dom station so I can actually see the ownership as I'm looking. Yeah, I mean, Juju is showing almost no ownership, which I think. Oh, that's captain. Hang on.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah, I was like, what? Okay, yeah, 20% Juju, Watson 22. I mean, these guys are miracle plays. That's such high ownership for them.
Yeah, like, they're gonna be on the field a ton. Juju's gonna play 65-70% of the snaps.
Would you agree though that there are very good odds that like one of these 5 guys down here, whether it's Jamal, Juju, Noah Gray, Juwan Johnson, Foster, one of those 5 ends up in the Nuts lineup? I feel like they do.
Yeah, I feel like that's almost a lock.
Yeah, I would agree. Samaje Perine at 6,400, by the way, is that just too expensive? Is he unplayable?
He's just not catching passes.
No, he's not doing anything, and he's going to be 12% owned, 13 almost.
The ownership reflects the correct assumption about him, that he's not that good of a play. I think even Juwan Johnson at 19%. Juwan Johnson, he pops off once in a while, but more often than not, he gets you a 0. Yeah, even with no Taysom Hill.
I like Juwan tonight. I really think they're going to utilize him in that kind of WR3 hybrid tight end role in their 2 tight end sets. Him being on the field 70%, he's a big body. Look, he's not awesome, but I think at that price, he's way underpriced given his role.
Where my turds at? Freaking turds everywhere.
But Foster Moreau at 5% on that little bit of leverage there, I kind of do like that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no $200 turd that's even viable on the slate from what I'm seeing.
No,
not really. Maybe, no.
You don't really need to go there though. Those 5 guys right there, mix those guys in. I wouldn't go any lower.
Can I point out that the Ravens game yesterday, if that was a showdown,
it'd have been wild.
Tight end Kohler gets Charlie Kohler gets multiple touchdowns. Like, that's the crazy shit that happens in a football game. The 3rd string tight end, not the 2nd. And then in the Steelers game, Cameron Hayward catching bombs. It's just a reminder. Train your brain that, like, even though you don't know about these players doing things, 3rd string tight ends are involved. They catch a pass once in a while and they break a showdown slate. It's crazy. Domination.
even in the game last night, like Hunter Lipke almost barreled into the end zone there at the end. Like that'd have been awesome.
Somebody showed me a lineup with Hunter Lipke in it, and I was like, Hunter Lipke is probably going to get you a 0. Just be aware.
I said in the notes, I said he's a better play than Zeke.
Yeah, he was a better play than Zeke.
He catches the ball. He can catch out of the backfield.
Zeke is persona non grata. He can never be played in DFS at all. Period. Rico Dowdle is fine. Zeke is a no-go. He does nothing that's going to produce a smash score, and he's always overpriced.
I needed that Tolbert touchdown late though. Whew.
Yeah, Tolbert was awesome. That was my primary captain guy yesterday too.
Me too.
On that note, DFS Up North, I'd like you to start making a VIP video for those Sunday night showdowns.
We'll see.
All right,
called out,
pressuring you in front of everybody. All right, so where were we? Let's take a look at DraftKings and see if we can make a lineup based on some of this stuff. The biggest challenge I think is going to be affordability.
Yep.
Definitely if you start with Mahomes. So let me start with Kelsey, who is in an interesting spot salary-wise. So we build around a lineup around Kelsey. We like do we like the
go your expensive cores first. Go the guys up top first.
I mean, you got to have Kamara in the lineup. So
throw Kamara in there.
I like Kareem Hunt. Worthy, Shaheed. Where are we going? Olave?
You want one of Olave or probably Rashid. I go Rashid there.
Just for the price.
A little bit of savings to go to Rashid. Fine. 5,900.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to be making these decisions. So maybe a kicker like a Butker.
I go Kareem Hunt, I think.
Kareem. Left with 4,900.
All right. Philosophical question or showdown game theory question. Do you want your captain, if your captain is whoever, do you have the same kicker? Like, you know what I'm saying?
In my head, it's gross, but it doesn't.
In my head too. I know. I like.
In my head, it's nasty. Yeah.
I always have a hard time with that. Like, okay, if this kicker's going off, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
really
it's
matter.
Nasty in my head, but it ends up not mattering. I've been beat by it so many times.
Doesn't matter.
All right, here we go.
Kev, put Kamara in the captain because that's how most people are going to roll.
That's how the public's going to roll, right?
Just to see because that's the expensive.
And I'll Savage. We're going to get to that question in a second because he made a $10 tip, so we're definitely going to answer that question. I'm going to actually Savage. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to show you how we come up with a solid ownership cap for each contest every week. I'm going to show you the technique.
Throw a couple bucks at Kevin. He's busting out all the stops.
Oh, yeah, you know
that's good to know.
$10 tip or whatever this is going on the YouTube
answer your question.
I'm about it.
He might take it. You do 15, he might take his shirt off. I don't know.
Oh.
Herd hat, Bobbywow for a $20 bill. All right. Where were we? All right. So what were we saying? A Kamara starting lineup, right?
Yeah. Let's see what that looks like.
All right. Start with Kamara.
That's true, money man.
Saints are doing well.
Are no rules.
Oh, there it is. Savage. Fuck yeah. Love that. Hell yeah. Let's go. $1,000 winner. All because of the Dom Station. Jesus. The domination station just tease us with your mathematical thesis. Sorry.
No, I like it. Go Mahomes and Kelsey too. Let's throw Mahomes and Kelsey in there.
All right, Mahomes. We got to have Kelsey in here, right? Yeah. I don't know if you could afford Mahomes and then still make a lineup. 4,000. So we got it. Now we're already in the punt. So I would pull Mahomes.
Okay, let's go Hunt then.
Yeah, let's go Kareem. 5,600, guys. Where are we going next with this one? So we've got Saint, Kelsey. So Chief, Saint, Chiefs.
Here's where I'm at. I think that kicker zone is a trap tonight. I think you got to go down to that. I think you got to go down to that 2K range.
Do you leave some on the table? You think, Bobby?
No, I just think you go to the 2 to 3K range, and then you can, pay up for somebody like Olave or Shaheed.
Sure.
Rather than go
Juju?
middling.
Noah Gray or Juju?
Not Juju. No matter what, not Juju.
Double tight end is.
Yeah, I might
nasty,
go.
But I think that could be a good place.
I'd go Juwan Johnson or Foster Moreau. I think before I go Juju.
I mean, I feel all of that, and Skylar is actually worse than Juju if that's possible.
I think Justin Watson, in theory, probably has the best shot at getting 4 or 5 targets.
Like he catches that 30-yard pass down the seam.
There were a couple games last year, remember, where he filled in. He ended up having 10 or 11 targets in a couple of those games.
Didn't do anything with him, but he
didn't
had
do
10 or 11 targets.
Yeah, but he gets the ball. Yeah, the ball goes his way.
Tony got it, man. Tony picked up on where that line was from and just twisted it around. I love that. By the way, Tony Turner, I think Diddy did it. I really do. I think Diddy did it.
I think we're gonna get some news about that at some point.
I think Diddy did Biggie wrong, man. I'm now convinced 20 years later of what happened. I feel like it's like the Menendez brothers thing, where my whole world has changed. Everything I thought was wrong.
I think in 3 years we might be similar to Guru Elite, and Kevin's just doing conspiracy theory pods like Tommy for
I'm almost there. I think me and Tommy have to get together.
I see our YouTube history on the DFS Army stuff. Sometimes I'm like, oh, Kevin's been on YouTube again.
Yeah, I've been on it for too long, man. I know too much. Diddy definitely did it. He did it. Oh man. All right. So where do we go? I don't want to go Justin Watson. Let's go double tight end with Noah Gray. Fine.
Ooh,
low owned. 7,100 left in this. It's not that easy to make a lineup, to be quite clear.
Now you can go middling, and then you can go one of those 2 receivers. So I'm just saying I wouldn't go double kicker, for example.
I'd
have one
middling.
low.
Yeah, you can only go one. Look, even after you put in a cheap guy like this,
I can now go kicker and then Olave.
Yeah, it's going to be a kicker
or
here.
Kicker and
Shaheed 8,900, and then you're just stuck with whatever you're left with. Rashid Shaheed.
That's fine.
Yeah. Something like that.
That's that 2-4 that I was talking about.
Yeah, something like that. Gets it done.
Keep in mind that's the most expensive captain too.
So, by the way, check this out. Right? This spot here, this Gray spot, can be switched from Moreau, Johnson, Gray, Schuster, Williams. It doesn't matter who this turd is, who the last turd in the lineup is. You have a choice of 5 different players there.
That's a good strategy that I do use sometimes. Is I'll build that 4 or 5 man core that I like, and then I'll just cycle through those turds. You know what I mean?
Let's get back to this question of projected ownership cap. So I'm going to show you how to do this on the domination station. It's very simple, guys. The basic approach is the first thing I want to do. You have to understand that each slate is different. People talk about ownership cap. Every slate is different. So I'm going to show you something. I'm gonna run 50 lineups right now. And the reason I say this is some are chalkier than others.
Yep.
You never know. Every slate is different and unique. So we don't have a specific number because sometimes you get crazy chalk around somebody and sometimes you don't. So what I do is I just run the domination station, right? Then I'm going to sort by total P owns, which is the total ownership projection. And you could see here, and I also like to scroll through it. So here's the chalkiest lineup that you can create, which is weird because it includes a low-owned Juwan Johnson at captain.
Yeah, but then you can get all those duds. You can get all those studs
Juwan,
right?
But effectively the highest P owns that can be generated right now is about 225%. But it's not enough to just look at that one. I want to look at the first few. So I see that all of these other ones are sitting at around 203, around 200%, right? So if I want to get off the chalk, this is 180. You see how I'm looking at this number? So I'm going to go about 20% below the chalkiness. So to me, a perfect ownership cap on a slate like this is going to be 180%. And what that's going to do is pretty much eliminate all these extremely chalky first bunch of lineups that get generated. Now you might be saying, Kev, why would I do that? They're good lineups, and they are. So the other way to effectively make sure that you're getting low ownership without a cap like that. So we could just set a cap like that, and it will just eliminate these very chalky lineups, and that'll be done. The only ones that will, so it will start effectively in a sense, what was my 40th lineup that I created. Sure. That might be too extreme.
What is run it again? Just see what it looks like. Like what
here, I'll do
100
75 now with this cap in place. So it should be about today. It should be about 190, maybe 180, depending on how aggressive you want to get. But again, there's another way to do it, which is
force a player.
Yeah, you either or create player groups for the turds. Make sure you don't get more than one turd and that kind of thing, so that we can avoid it. I actually want to talk about domination station or optimizer rules for this one. So let me ask you guys this: with Derek Carr as an example, is there any benefit to playing him even in the flex without? Obviously, he's got to be played with at least one. Every QB needs to be stacked with at least one wide receiver, same team. If you're playing Derek Carr as a captain, I think you must stack him with two,
including Kamara, though.
Yeah, including Kamara.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Is Shaheed captain a risky play? Not at all.
No,
Shaheed captain. Shaheed is getting 30% of the targets on his team. That's is as good as any stud wide receiver in the entire NFL.
You got to define risky though, too, right? Like, what is risky? What's not risky here?
I don't know what risky means in terms of DFS.
If you're playing a showdown, you're risky.
Yeah, like in a showdown, you either win or you lose all your money. So this is what the lineups look like, by the way. If you have it at 180 cap,
okay.
Yeah, I mean these are fine.
Yeah, there you go. Those are good. You're getting Jamal, Juju in there.
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty. Yeah.
It's not even that unchalky, is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, just squeeze a little Mason Tipton in there. How about this Mason Tipton lineup winning the nuts? That could totally happen.
Yeah. He's your Kadarius Hodge.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I love Savage. Savage is the man. Like, loves the theme song. Savage is the man. All right. What about a cash line? So if we were building for cash, guys.
Yep.
I think I'm still starting with Kamara up top here.
I think so.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yep.
I don't want to
you probably go
full cash lineup on the show.
That comment is great, by the way.
Where are we at with Mahomes, Kelsey? I think you go Mahomes, Kelsey, kicker.
Let's try this. If you put Mahomes in there, Kelsey cannot do kicker. But you definitely want these kickers, especially Bucker. I would want both of the kickers in there. 2,900 left, and you have to use Juju.
I mean, or any 5 or 6 of those guys down there.
Yeah, but Juju's cash worthy, viable, I think.
What's another way to do this? If you didn't play Mahomes, you cannot trust.
You definitely want Kareem Hunt in there too. Then
yeah, it would be Hunt.
Yeah, but then it's like Hunt and Gray.
Yeah, you probably have to go more like. Again, you still have to play a turd in every lineup. Basically, you need to find a turd that's going to get a couple of receptions. I think as much as we want to shit on Juju, it might actually be Juju that's going to be
you
that
could
guy.
Go kicker here though. No.
Yeah, you can go.
You got
Kamara, Butker group, Kelsey, Mahomes, Juju. That's your cash line.
Basically, if I play another cheap guy here, I can go up and get another semi-stud type player in the lineup. So I can get to Shaheed and then play any one of these guys.
Does it feel weird having a cash lineup without a quarterback? I don't know.
I hate doing that, but
I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it.
It's tough. Tonight's a tough night for cash.
If you put Mahomes in there, you just have to like take a 0. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of times a good cash game approach is to go right back to the Dom station. If you ever wanted like that first lineup that it generated, it's weird with the. I think actually, here's what I'm
taking Kelsey out. If I'm playing cash, I'm taking Kelsey out.
Here's what I'm doing in cash. You ready for this? I'm putting Harry B up top. Oh. I'm putting the kicker in there. Check this out.
Jeebus.
Your lineup looks good though, I bet.
It's gonna look so much better. You put the kicker in there. Now you get Hunt, Kelsey. We can get all these guys, Kamara. I can even get Mahomes in there, and then I can put in, Watson or one of these guys in the last spot. Or if I didn't want to go Mahomes 7K, I can do P. Ryan and Worthy or some combination of Shaheed.
Carr is super cheap for a QB too.
That's true.
What if you did Derek Carr and then can I get that other kicker? No.
Oh,
so close. Is there a way to shave that dollar, that hundo? No, that's really close. But that would be ideal. Or just go with Mahomes there and
paying down anyway.
Yeah, and just like a Watson or one of these turds. So
cash is tough, man. Tonight,
yeah.
Jeez.
I don't play a lot of cash in these. I'd rather play like single entry contest. I don't really necessarily do a lot of showdown cash.
You're a showdown cash conspiracist?
Yeah, again, keep in mind there's a cash approach, Braxton. Like you don't need to win the whole thing. All you need to do is not fuck up your captain.
Just try to get across the line.
Basically, if you're playing cash, if you play a cheap captain and you don't fuck it up. Yeah. Oh, Steve says put Tipton in that. Yeah, that last. I had the one where it only had 500 left, but that's how you win it. That's how you win the cash. All right, let's move on.
I think you could
move FanDuel. Let's move on to FanDuel.
Yes, let's do it.
Because we're getting crazy in here. DFS Up North, FanDuel, captains. Take me through the MVPs for tonight.
All right, it's Kamara again. Obviously, great play, but I do think that Mahomes, just due to the bonuses and things, the lack of PPR on FanDuel, I think that Mahomes is the most likely captain or MVP. Sorry, in this game. I get that he hasn't put it up, but I just think that the difference in scoring on the sites leads me to Mahomes a little bit more. I don't know that anyone else can really. I mean, Kareem Hunt, but you could run 75 Kamara, 75 Mahomes lineups and probably be somewhat profitable.
Bobby, Derek Carr.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to take down a tournament on FanDuel, you're probably not going to have Mahomes as your MVP or Kamara tonight. It's probably got to be Carr. I think Hunt is a good GPP MVP in his ownership. What's his ownership projecting at right now? It's probably going to be sub 10% for sure.
I just want to point out, the Saints are pretty good against the run. Hang on, let me go to DraftKings FanDuel here so we can see the ownerships. But Saints are pretty good against the run. Kelsey's, he's priced full. I don't mind it. Kareem Hunt, 12K. Yeah.
It's tricky. Like, you look back, let me see here.
7% for Hunt. I feel like he's got a better. I don't know. I'm
got to make a worthy. By the way, in tournaments, you got to make. The more I think about it, you got to make worthy lineups. And it's. I get so to me, Kamara is the most obvious. And again, I'm going back to DraftKings because it's just like coming to me here. Kamara the most because we didn't use these guys for the lineups we just showed, but to me, Kamara is the most obvious. But worthy is that going to win you the tournament guy if it hits. Shaheed, Worthy, Olave, we got to sort through those guys, and even and Kelsey. It has to go like that. I don't think I'm going to use any of the other plays.
Right.
As captain. Yep.
Do we like Hunt over 10? Yeah, I mean, we put a bet out. I think Hunt over 11.5 rushing attempts tonight. Yeah. So if you've got it for 10.5, Javad, I think that's a good number to take the over on.
But like, here's the thing with the quarterbacks, right? Like on FanDuel, you essentially it has to be a game similar to what we saw Sunday morning, right? With the Jets and the Vikings. For the quarterbacks have to be pretty bad for them to get outscored by somebody else, right? Like even Jalen Tolbert doesn't outscore Dak last night on FanDuel.
For a wide receiver to get it done, yes,
hard.
But
running back
easier. A running back, they can easily outscore the quarterback.
So that's running back in a 3-headed split on the Chiefs. That's yeah.
Is Carson Steele going to keep getting touches?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so then it's a 3.
They got draft capital invested in him, right?
No.
Is he
not
a way rounder?
Is a UDFA. He is not. There's no draft or a 7th round pick. He's not like somebody. They just like.
Could you not see like Kareem Hunt rushing in for a touchdown, Samaje Perine getting a touchdown, but neither showing up in the optimal lineup? I could totally see that for the Chiefs tonight.
And I just want to mention something that we learned in back testing. We do a lot of back testing in the off season. We do streams and all of that. And one of the names I wrote down in my notepad was Rashid Shaheed as just a guy that wins you a tournament like more often.
Yep.
So basically, when you look at players in DFS, NFL DFS, they're supposed to hit their ceiling like once every 4 games. That's sort of the cadence of it. Some guys never hit a ceiling game, which makes them terrible DFS plays all the time. Other guys are the best DFS plays because they either hit it or they kill your lineup. Think about like Amari Cooper, right? 5 times a season he gets a 30 plus, and then every other week he's getting a 2, right? It's like there's very little in between with guys like that. Rashid Shaheed was one of those guys that was hitting for 5-6x, like 35-40% of the time last year. But the other times he'd get a 0, like he would do nothing. And so it keeps his salary low. So those spike weeks really get you the 5-6x that you need.
Yep.
So Rashid Shaheed was on my list. He is always a person that can smash. Therefore, you always got to play some Shaheed as your captain. Not MVP, but captain.
Yep.
Sorry, we went back to FanDuel there. DraftKings inappropriately.
Let's build something over here.
Let's just build a FanDuel line. Wait, let me ask you one quick question. So on FanDuel, Monday Rush, is this it?
There's nothing really good. I was looking earlier, or like no guaranteed overlay I saw.
No, you're not going to get that on Monday night. But again, it is back for next week. So
it is. Oh
you're
man,
not
I can't
playing
wait.
that contest.
Was it last week that they did all those tickets for like 5 cents and it didn't even come close to filling? Was that a Showdown?
I think I won some tickets too because I found
too.
some $9 just random contest select entries in my. I didn't know where they were from. I guess that was from that.
Yep.
It was crazy overlay on some little 5-cent qualifier things.
Yep.
Kamara or Mahomes as your captain. Hunt, Kelsey, no money left. 2K. Oh man, that looked really good until I had no money left.
But it's really expensive.
Bobbywow, you're the FanDuel guru. Take me through how we're building this lineup. That's right. I'm building you up. You're the FanDuel man.
I mean, I hate it, but Juju's mega cheap on FanDuel too.
The tight ends are cheap. Like Noah Gray's really cheap. Feels like he's guaranteed a 5, 6, or 7. You know,
Noah Gray
punting with
7K. That's your punt.
Noah Gray. You know, you go Foster Moreau as well. I prefer those two over Juju, to be totally honest with you.
The Isle of Foster Moreau.
I don't think you need 2 punts
Wilson's
though.
Cheap.
I wouldn't punt twice here.
All right, so once you have Noah Gray in your lineup at this point,
I'm going Mahomes. Hey, you got to have Mahomes in your lineup.
By the way, you got to have Butker. What are we talking about? You got to play this kicker. This dude is a fucking beast kicker. And
okay, here's the thing, though.
Apparently, he's even better.
I feel like every time there's an obvious kicker, every time there has been one so far over these showdowns, the non-obvious kicker ends up smashing.
Right.
I think we need to remove our bias of like, this kicker's the best, you know?
Group.
So okay, you got
kickers pushing it though. It's not like they haven't been working out. We said kickers for that other thing with McLaughlin and I don't remember who the teams even were, but I remember the name McLaughlin, and there was a brand name second guy. What was the showdown on Monday earlier this week? What was that one? Atlanta, Young Koo and McLaughlin.
And
they both crushed.
Yeah, Koo was great. Last night, Aubrey and Boz. I mean, Aubrey was good. Boz was good.
Notice that you got to put Mahomes in here. You almost have to.
It kills your salary availability, so it does not really work well.
We haven't really talked about the D, but I think the Saints D could cause some havoc tonight.
Take a kicker out and put Noah Gray in there. What do we got now? We got
now
Worthy.
Get Worthy or Shaheed.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, something like this would work.
Yep.
If I have Mahomes in here and no players from his team, I would go.
I love that lineup.
I would do it like that. Where Kelsey kind of fails. I like this one.
That's a good lineup. I mean, it's going to be chalk city, but it's good.
Yeah, this is not. I don't know if it's chalk. I don't think Noah Gray will be in a chalky lineup. I don't think that's like that creates a chalky approach.
Groupie's going to go under own just by name alone.
Yes,
I can already.
And because he missed practice on Friday and then was full on Saturday or Thursday and Friday. And people are like, oh, there's another kicker. He's not the starter.
If you didn't play Mahomes, Hunt. I'm just trying to think of the version of how the game goes down and Mahomes doesn't score well.
So let me ask you this. Do you avoid on FanDuel Kamara and Carr in the same lineup?
No.
Because they're so salary restrictive.
I mean, it's restrictive, but no, because Kamara could catch a touchdown pass as likely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. I wouldn't avoid it, but
just like making that choice though between Carr and then Kelsey or something. Carr and Mahomes even.
The salaries always make it a little bit tricky. Kelsey priced up all the way at 13K, and you got Olave who doesn't score a lot of touchdowns. Realistically, is Olave actually a better play than Rashid Shaheed? He's scoring fewer points per game so far.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't see where he's better than Shaheed at all.
He's more sure-handed, but like the floor is maybe a little better. But
yeah, if you're not playing Mahomes, I'm definitely Kareem Hunt for sure is my line on FanDuel. One of those two guys for me.
Yeah,
in every lineup.
And Anthony's asking, what about no QB? I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it just because of how the salaries are. I'm okay with no QB. I don't think it's like the best, but the way that the salaries work out,
it's hard to do on FanDuel. It's hard for that to be the optimal on FanDuel, but that would be unique for sure.
Do you like this? Do you like either of the D tonight?
Yeah,
which defense?
I think both defenses are.
I think both defenses are fine. Kansas City doesn't score that well, but Carr can turn the ball over.
Derek Carr, gets a little silly sometimes. We've seen it over and over again.
And I think that with Mahomes, I mean, he doesn't have anybody to throw to, right? Like, could he potentially throw a few more picks tonight?
One pops off Justin Watson's hand and goes up in the air. We've seen that movie before,
right?
Too.
Like,
I think you can, if you're using Hunt as a captain, then yes.
Yeah, you could do that.
Mahomes is probably not a good play. As a matter of fact, I'd probably avoid Mahomes and Hunt together at all. If you want to have an avoidance, those two together would be something I would look to avoid.
Sure.
Just Hunt is not catching touchdown passes. He's running for touchdowns. And if he's making it into the nuts on his salary, that means he probably scored twice, at least once, or he ran for 100. And I don't know if I'm expecting.
Hunt was the only running back with catches last week, though.
Yeah,
but I see what you're saying.
But he's not a pass guy. I think that was situational. Like I think P. Ryan should be catching the passes.
He just isn't. Yeah, but he should be.
Should be.
Maybe he's the secret sauce tonight, Geek, on DraftKings.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't play a little P. Ryan. I think what we got to do tonight is mix it up, though, to try to take down a tournament as usual. That's just how showdowns are. Got to mix them up a little bit. Have a little bit of fun. What are you saying, Bobby?
Well, one more question for you guys. Will you be exclusively having one Chiefs running back in your lineups? Like, will you say between 0 and 1, or will you have multiple? Will you allow multiple Chiefs running backs in there?
I'm not allowing Steele in there with Hunt, but I don't mind P. Ryan and Hunt in the same lineup.
So what about Mahomes? Would you do 0 to 2 of P. Ryan, Hunt, Mahomes? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And I don't really like P. Ryan too much because his price. I think P. Ryan will get a score, but I think at 6,400, he's actually got to put up like 15. Like he's got to put up a lot of points.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's prohibitive.
And it's not like the Saints are actually
priced too high. I don't think
they're not some paper tiger rush defense either.
Right.
And no, it's not Carson Steele in the doghouse. We're not playing Carson Steele. It's over with Carson Steele. It's Hunt now.
You can go back to his alligator.
It would have to be a dramatic shift back to somebody. At this point, I think Carson Steele is the backup, and they're playing Hunt as Isaiah Pacheco.
Yep.
And they're playing P. Ryan as Jerick McKinnon. So let's just apply what we know about those players to this game, and that makes Hunt a pretty good play.
Steele's prices are RB2. That's the other issue. It's not like he's min price either.
Yeah, no, he's not playable. To me, he's unplayable. Any final thoughts, guys?
On DraftKings, mix in that crew toward the bottom. You know, you got that like 200 to 300 or 200 to 4K sweet spot of like 5 or 6 guys. That's the rotation right there. Build a core, rotate those guys in. That's my suggestion. Yeah. All right, guys. Good luck. Good luck on the showdown tonight. Everybody who watched this, we want to see those helmets in first place. Show me those screenshots. I want to show them off. Get you in the Wall of Champions alongside DFS Freak and Reedy and Miranda and then Raz who hit another one this weekend, and all the other screenshots that I didn't show because they weren't big enough. Sorry, guys. Everybody else didn't get your screenshot up here. Put bigger numbers on that shit. Or make sure I see them. All right. That's going to do it for this one. Appreciate everybody who hung out with us. Last man in the third box looks like Squirrel Patrol. That's you, man. I want to know. I wish I had his money. I've met Squirrel Patrol. You guys don't look too much alike. I wish I had his money. Yeah, you guys don't look too much alike. Squirrel Patrol. That was an interesting one. But good luck, everybody, tonight. We will see you. We'll see those avatars on top of those tournaments. So let's fucking go. Take care, everyone.